Steven Seagal went from being a beloved action hero to having his entire career plummet to the ground. The famous actor created a bad reputation for himself, and nothing goes unnoticed in the Hollywood streets. Seagal's negative reputation was so bad that most of his other endeavors ended up going south as well. Ever heard of the Steven Seagal Lightning Bolt energy drink? We wouldn't be surprised if you hadn't. The drink was discontinued as quickly as it was put on the market, and his bad luck didn't stop there. A failed production company he co-founded from 1994 was dissolved 6 years later. The company had only produced a handful of Steven's own failed action movies. And if you think it's not that bad, we have a lot in store for you. Because getting a lawsuit for not disclosing the payment he received for a business deal is not the only time the actor broke the law. From a lot of talk about his bad attitude from those who have worked with him to sexual assault charges, this fallen hero became the bullet to dodge.
You've been very much caught up in all the allegations of sexual harassment. You had a rape allegation against you, and I wonder how you deal with all that.
But what caused everything he touched to crumble? And where did it all start? You'll have to keep watching as we discover the disturbing details behind the actor that most celebrities can't stand. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell to stay updated with more news. Though the actor worked on a few film sets for many years before ever stepping in front of the camera, he was first introduced to us in his debut performance in Above the Law. The film's success saw Seagal appearing in a number of box office hits that propelled him to action hero status, with the most notable being Under Siege, the movie that helped him achieve mainstream success and become a household name in the early 90s. However, Seagal garnered a reputation for being a difficult and unpleasant actor to work with during the height of his success. A notable moment being when he hosted an episode of Saturday Night Live, where he apparently, amongst other things, refused to participate in one of the sketches because the title characters had stated that they could beat Seagal up. He was never invited onto the show again, with a cast member dubbing Seagal the worst host during his time on the show. The following year, when Nicolas Cage was on the show, he confessed that he was afraid of being seen as, quote, the biggest jerk who's ever been on the show. But the show's producer replied, no, that would be Steven Seagal. Seagal's bad attitude was also well known on film sets, with many former stuntmen who have worked with him criticizing the actor for intentionally hitting them during scenes. These clashes came back to bite when, while filming one of his blockbusters, Seagal claimed that he could not be subdued by a chokehold due to his Aikido training. A stunt coordinator on set offered Seagal an opportunity to prove his claim, which ended with him not only definitely passing out, but also crapping his pants, literally. Due to Seagal's constant claims of superior artistry, a stunt coordinator was offered a place with a group of martial art practitioners. They were willing to answer public challenges to fight the actor, but the stunt coordinator declined, only leaving open the possibility of a professional fight against Seagal. Seagal heavily denied the entire incident and called him a, quote, sick, pathological scumbag liar. Seagal's tendency to use force during fight scenes was present even before his action hero days. A well-known incident being when he broke Sean Connery's wrist while working as a fight coordinator on a James Bond film. Opening up about 8 years later, Connery recounted, "We were going to do a film called Never Say Never Again, and there was a possibility I was going to do Aikido and what have you, and he broke my wrist." Another actor who was an unsuspecting victim of Seagal's violent temper is John Leguizamo. After breaking out in loud laughter when Seagal entered the room and stated that he was to be in charge of the set for a film they both were to star in, the actor was treated to a punch in the chest from the Aikido master himself.
And the first day we get together for rehearsal with the actors and the director, he comes in, I'm in command. What I say is law. You disagree? And I started cracking. I was like, I thought he was kidding. We were just hanging out. Yeah. And he Aikido'd me against the brick wall. Pow! Knocked all the air out of me. I was like, what? What? Yeah.
Allegations of mistreatment on set were not limited to male cast and crew. 3 female Warner Bros. Employees accused Seagal of sexual harassment while filming one of his box office hits. The women were paid around $50,000 each in exchange for their silence.
The second that he touched me, I did scream that this audition was finished. And I was very surprised. He repeated calmly, "This audition is finished," and just sat there as if nothing had happened.
Many women have since gone on to accuse him of sexual harassment, including Portia de Rossi, who once tweeted, "My final audition for a Steven Seagal movie took place in his office. He told me how important it was to have chemistry off-screen as he sat me down and unzipped his leather pants. I ran out and called my agent. Unfazed, she replied, 'Well, I didn't know if he was your type.'" A year later, when the hashtag #MeToo movement was garnering a lot of public attention, 2 women came forward to accuse Seagal of sexual assault and sexually forced violation when they were 17 and 18 respectively.
He started kissing my neck and taking off my clothes. I was in shock.
He denied the allegations, saying, quote, "This isn't just about me because hundreds of people in Hollywood have been attacked. My opinion is that 60% of these people are completely innocent, and that includes me." However, it has since been pointed out that Seagal has a documented history of sexual harassment charges and allegations from multiple women that date back to years before the hashtag #MeToo era. But before the years of assault and stardom, Seagal was married to a second-degree Aikido black belt fighter he had met back in the USA. The couple moved to Japan together, but the marriage ended in divorce after he had an affair with a model. Interestingly enough, although Seagal is credited to be the first non-Asian to open a dojo in Japan, it is his first wife's family that owned the school, and he simply taught there. His ex-wife and her brother continued to teach at the school long after Seagal returned to America. He had 2 children as a result of his first marriage. Both have distanced themselves from their father. His daughter prefers to use her maiden name, and his son stated that they are not on speaking terms, nor is he looking to reconcile with his dad. It seems that Hollywood is not the only place where the actor has a less than stellar reputation if his children's opinion of him as a father is taken into account. Though he went on to marry the woman he had an affair and 3 children with, that is after a brief period where he married a different woman for less than a year. But the marriage was annulled because his divorce wasn't finalized yet. That's right, he was cheating on his first wife with 2 women, and he even married one. His marriage to the model also ended in divorce in 1993, with her stating irreconcilable differences as a reason. Seagal then went on to have 2 more marriages, which produced another child each. Seagal's lack of success in marriages appeared to translate to an equal lack of success in his career with the release of the film On Deadly Ground, a year after his second divorce. The film was not well received and indicated the decline in his mainstream success and the following drop from box office hits to direct-to-video, and finally made-for-TV films that he still produces to this day. Part of the reason for this change was the shift in Seagal's persona from the ready-for-action city cop to some type of philosophical/spiritual environmentalist, which critics thought ruined the films with self-righteous monologues and less than exciting plots.
What's wrong with you, man? You're slipping. But you can't check your 6.
Robert?
Just like old Tom's, huh? Me saving your life and your hooker girl flying up into the wind.
He made a brief, bold effort at mainstream relevance 7 years later with the movie Exit Wounds that achieved commercial success. However, other than his role as a villain in Machete, all of his following films have since been straight to DVD. Though he seems to dislike liars, the man is no stranger to the deed himself, and is known to have lied about his race and ethnicity multiple times throughout the various changes he has made in his persona. Seagal has on separate occasions claimed that he is Italian, Japanese, Russian, with the most recent being of Native American heritage, which he touches upon in his 2019 book The Way of the Shadow Wolves. He is actually of Irish and Jewish descent. If you thought that was it, here's a list of a few other things Seagal has lied about. 1. He claimed that he trained with the Aikido founder Morihei Ueshiba, except for the fact that Ueshiba died 2 years before Seagal first moved to Japan. Yep, that's right, 2 years. 2. He says he taught a legendary UFC fighter a technique he used in an iconic fight, though there is video evidence of the fighter using the technique before he even met Seagal. 3. He claims to speak Italian, Russian, and Japanese, though he has never been heard speaking anything other than English. And you're not ready for this. 4. Seagal once said he trained and was trained by CIA agents in hand-to-hand combat designed for fighting terrorists. But when he had the opportunity to be put in a CIA drill, it was alleged that he had no clue on how to use a basic map and compass.
So who are you? Are you like some special forces guy or something?
I'm just a cook.
A cook?
Just a lowly cook.
Seagal continues to face multiple allegations, produce for TV films, and make outrageous claims with zero evidence to support them to this day. He has certainly come a long and interesting way from his days as one of America's beloved martial arts action heroes. That's all we have for you today. Thank you for choosing Rumour Juice as your daily celebrity news channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tell your friends how cool we are.